version of syphilis apparently that already existed in Europe that they think came from bestiality. These sick bugs. Is that true?
It says, importantly, like smallpox, there is no known animal reservoir for syphilis.
Animal reservoir.
Does that mean that they can't keep it, hold it, store it?
Yeah, that means you can't get it from them. I thought that, so that means that animals don't have syphilis. So it's not. So what was the origin for the original syphilis in Europe? God, I swear I thought I read something about it being connected to animals. Maybe that was just a rumor. Maybe that was one of those things that was like people thought that's what happened, but then they found out it's not the case because there wasn't an animal reservoir. Because you know that animals have COVID, which is really weird. Like deer, tested a bunch of deer that have COVID, and they're like, how? How the fuck did they get COVID? How do wild deer get COVID? Like really? How did that spread? But I think during the height of the pandemic, there was like a good percentage of deer that they would test that tested positive for COVID-19.
Maybe because of if it's in an area where there's feeders or something.
Could be.
Human contamination.
Could be. Could be. Maybe people handling the deer, if it's not wild deer, maybe it's deer that get released in the wild and they give it to the wild deer.
Yeah, like what deer are getting COVID tested? Probably ones near humans.
Well, definitely ones near humans, because they're probably ones that were hunted. They shot them and then they tested them. I'm pretty sure that was how they found out. Oh no, I'm not sure about that though.
Certainly. Medieval DNA studies didn't come. Columbus didn't trigger syphilis in Europe. They already had it there.
Yes, what this guy was saying the other day that was telling me that he understands. He's a doctor. He's saying there's really two different kinds of syphilis, though. It's like syphilis did already exist in Europe, but he said it's pretty obvious that the syphilis that happened specifically right afterwards seemed to be more aggressive and different. And this was the idea that the syphilis had come from America.
They went looking.
Okay, the team went looking for syphilis. What they found was a much wider array of treponemal strains, not just syphilis, but also yaws, which today is found exclusively in the tropics, and a previously undiscovered strain with no modern-day counterpart. We see that many different lineages were present in Europe, which we did not know before, Schoenemann says. What's more, the dating range given the two strains is bounded on the lower end by ages in the early to mid 1400s. Potentially the first DNA evidence that syphilis existed in Europe prior to Columbus's contact with the Americas. Interesting. So maybe that it existed there, but then they brought back a more virulent strain or something. I don't know. I don't know who's right, but it is wild that that's one of the ways that these infectious diseases get passed on. People would just show up with them. And that's the thing, like when people talk about the genocide of the Native Americans, what they leave, a lot of folks maybe don't even know, is that 90% of them died because of diseases. Imagine a country where 90% of the people die. Imagine if like this thing that's kind of happening right now, where the borders are open and all these South American people are just storming through. It's crazy.
Yeah.
If you see the border of America, it's fucking nuts. It's a wide open border, which is just insane. But when you're watching that, imagine if they brought over a disease that killed 90% of the people here. That's what happened in 1492.
I never thought of it that way.
Yep. There
So
was
it's like-
100 million Native Americans here at one point in time, they estimated.
Did you say 100 million?
100 million.
Fuck. Damn.
Yeah.
We were. That was.
How wild is that? That's the high estimates. Make sure that's true. I'm pretty sure that's true. But they used to think there was much less. And then as time has gone on, they've realized also they've been here a lot longer than they thought. They found footprints of people that were here 22,000 years ago. They had this idea of Clovis first. I don't know what the specific time period of Clovis, but the Clovis period, they thought that was the beginning of people in North America. And then they're like, nope, we found footprints of people 22,000 years ago. They're like, holy shit. 100 million or more. Population figures for the indigenous peoples of America prior to European colonization colonization have been difficult to establish. By the end of the 20th century, most scholars gravitated towards an estimate of around 50 million, with some historians arguing for an estimate of 100 million or more.
Wow.
In an effort to circumvent the hold in which the Ottoman Empire held on the overland trade routes to East Asia, and the hold that the Attorney Regis granted to Portugal on maritime routes via the African coast and the Indian Ocean, the monarchs of the nascent Spanish Empire decided to fund Columbus's voyage in 1492, which eventually led to the establishment of settler colonial states and the migration of millions of Europeans to the Americas. That's nuts. What an invasion. What a crazy invasion. I mean, that is one of the wildest stories in human history. You know, and it's so ironic that at that same place, people are bitching that people are storming in from the border. It's kind of funny. I mean, they have a good point. You really do have to have secure borders. But still, it's kind of wild that this one country that was literally established as a place to go to when you're fleeing a place that sucks. They're like, yeah, we're full. Full kids. Stay out.
I wonder what the study is on that in like Australia. I've never really thought about the number of the natives that were there.
Well, the crazy thing about Australia, my friend Adam Greentree, you know Adam,
Yeah.
he was here the other day explaining to us the number of different languages they have, and that a lot of them aren't even written down, and that these tribes will be, they're called the mobs of Aborigines, that a mob will be 30 kilometers or 300 kilometers away from another mob, and they speak a totally different language, and they don't even know what it is. Like, they can't communicate with each other. They said there's hundreds of them, hundreds of different languages.
If they needed a cup of sugar, they wouldn't even know how to ask for it.
They don't know how to ask for it. And they've been around for a long fucking time. Walls of caves and shit, and sides of cliffs. It's like, he's found a bunch of like ancient Aborigine art because it's so wild. You just like, you're looking at this thing like, how old is this? Like, no one even knows. Yeah. Or they used to have, was it Australia? No, it was New Zealand, I think. They had an eagle that could kill people. It was called the Haast eagle. It was an enormous eagle, and they think they went extinct because people decided to kill them. They were killing people. Yeah, so they found the whatever fossils and skeletons of this fucking eagle, and they found, I think there. I don't know if they're connected, but I know they've found primates. There's a lot of primates that get killed by eagles. It's like a common thing, like especially in South America. There's an eagle called the harpy eagle. It's amazing. I think it's the biggest of the eagles that are alive today. It kills a lot of monkeys. And when the monkeys see that fucking eagle coming, man, they go crazy. They scream and run. They run around the tree. They're trying to hide. This motherfucker comes in looking like a demon. Just a snatching demon from the sky. They keep that sloth population in check, though. Good luck being a sloth.
Easy pickings.
Nature fucked them. Why did nature do that? Imagine.
They have to eat eucalyptus all the
Messaging for
time.
Bea.
Or they start to fucking get antsy.
I think that's a koala bear.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Koala bears are
See the
actually like
redbird?
little bears. They're actually they
See a
behave like
redbird?
bears.
No.
Apparently, when they mate, it's like very aggressive.
Oh yeah, I
shocked
held
by it.
one, and for the first time, I think the last time I was there, just finally got around to the stupid zoo visit, and fucking, they do. Have you held one?
No.
Oh, it's so interesting. So
It's like holding a bear.
it
Not
is.
holding a bear.
It is, and it's
Just a
fucking
little bear.
heavy. It's like
Dense.
yeah, it feels like 2 or 3 bowling balls like
Right.
at once, and they'll have like a hand on you or whatever. So the person or you has to keep feeding it leaves of eucalyptus, and if it goes, it felt like these were some addicted like child star fucking koala bears that work at the zoo all day. So I don't know if they're all like this, but if they go like 10 or 20 seconds without getting another hit of eucalyptus, their fucking little hands start to fucking
Claw at you?
well, not claw at you, but like
Let you know.
a little grip.
Right. Hey, fucker.
Right.
Yeah.
They get a little.
Like Snoop does when he paws your face.
Yep.
Pet me, bitch.
Yep.
Yeah.
Eucalyptus addicts.
Yeah, that's a weird thing, man. If you look, I go. It's like, hey. Where's the fucking food? Right? I know I look cute.
Yep.
But bite your fucking nose off, bitch.
Exactly.
Now imagine a bear that's 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Think that little thing. Look how dense it feels, right?
Oh, it's crazy.
Imagine when it's as big as this room. That's how big they are.
Does anybody ever hunt them with bows and arrows?
Yeah, they do a lot. Yeah. Look at them. Growling. Whoa.
You gotta remember, those tiny little, what look like tiny paws are holding up that heavy thing.
Yeah.
A little heavy thing.
Yeah, it's got claws. I mean, it's climbing with ease. They climb trees like it's nothing. What a crazy looking animal, too. Imagine the first guy to see one of those. Like, what is that? Look at that fucking thing. How strange.
The giant.
But I guess back then everything was strange. They had so many. I mean, Australia's got so many weird animals, man. All the marsupials, I think, come from Australia, which is weird. Like, how'd that happen? Why you got a fucking hoodie? When you get a front pocket, you keep your baby in. Like, what the fuck is that? No other animals in the world, I don't think, have it.
So interesting.
I think they're the only animal. I think it's only. I don't know if that's true. If Australia's the only place where there's marsupials. Because I know that Tasmanian tiger, I think that was a marsupial, which is nuts. Because it looked like a dog.
I don't know that one.
Tasmanian tigers,
70% are found in Australia. The rest are found in the Americas.
really? What part of the Americas have?
Primarily South America, 13 in Central America, and one species, the Virginia possum. In North America.
No shit.
There's a
There's
possum
one in
in
Virginia that's a marsupial. Wow. What are the big? What are the other big ones? Because I know there's like, for sure, the biggest ones. Kangaroos get fucking giant. There's two kangaroos. There's a red one and a gray one. I forget which one gets huge, but one of them gets fucking huge, like real big, and they'll fuck you up. Like they're giant. They're like 7 feet tall, and they'll fucking kick your guts out. They get up on their back tail. They'll sit up on the tail and just fucking kick at you.
What is it?
A kangaroo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. No. I was thinking about how weird it was. I got stuck on that fucking weed we smoked during the Kanye song was powerful.
I said, what are the marsupials in South America?
Am I incorrect that marsupials are they all carry their baby in their pouch?
That might not be the correct definition, but I thought so.
I thought so. So there's marsupials in South America,
Yeah.
but the big weird ones are Australia. Any members of the mammalian infraclass Marsupialia, all extant marsupials are, so
So
it says,
usually have a pouch.
usually have a pouch. Kangaroos, wombats, bandicoots, wombat.
Yeah.
I've seen something recently. Have you seen a shark? I guess egg.
Wow. I don't think so.
It's like it was a very specific kind.
Oh, I have seen sharks I thought sharks give birth. So this is like the eggs before they're fertilized?
This is a spiral shark egg.
Yo. That's what their egg looks
The
like?
person that posted this video like on TikTok, or yeah, this is the one that was on TikTok recently. They found it on the coast, like
Holy
on the
shit.
edge, and they're trying to figure out what they should do with it. Usually they get like lodged.
Cook it.
You can see the larva.
Whoa, that's amazing. Holy shit.
Philip would hit that shit with a torch for 3 seconds and take it right down.
Yeah.
It's another horn shark egg casing.
Horn shark.
Orange shark egg casing. Look how beautiful.
Okay,
that is.
so a lot of questions about these guys. People were asking me if they were hard because it looks like glass. And
If someone could grab that and raise it, I don't know.
Can you bring it to one of them chicken places? Will they do it with chickens?
Put it in an incubator?
Yeah, an incubator.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Why can't you?
I don't
Oh,
I-
they
I-
said-
Because they
I-
hate sharks.
I
People hate
think
sharks.
We could go look for one and try, I guess.
I wonder what happens after
Right.
that.
I was
Okay.
Just-
watching a fishing video in Key West, and
Hello.
there's a bridge that these dudes fish on, and when they catch a fish,
Say hello to
it's a mad rush to get the fish to the surface because there's so many bull sharks there. It's like infested with bull sharks, and they lose fish all day long. And so this guy catches a bull shark and cooks it and eats it. And that's a real controversial thing nowadays because for whatever reason, it's like one of those ideological things. People have decided that, oh my God, you eat sharks. Did you know sharks are endangered? Like, no, maybe all over the world, their numbers are down because of shark fin soup, because they cut their fucking fins off. But for the most part, no. Like, especially in certain spots, there's a lot of them. It's like saying, are grizzly bears an endangered species? Well, they're not even in most of the places where they used to be, which is probably a good thing. But that's it right there.
Well, it's gonna hatch.
But they're not low numbers if you go to where they live. There's a lot of them there. It's just like they're not in San Francisco anymore. But you go to the north, they're there. You can go to Alaska. You'll fucking find a lot of them, man. They're there.
So it comes out like that. I guess.
Wow.
In theory, could put one in an aquarium.
You know, sweetheart.
So they just lay them.
Yeah.
And then they come out like that. Okay, so that's a different kind of shark. Because I think some sharks give birth to live osprey.
Yeah, I've never even heard
You're
of
having
one
a
shark.
party
It
at
looks a little bit
home
like
because of our graduation.
a hippo's face.
Graduation
Wow.
party, just a little bit on. Then,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
read her.
What a
Right.
cool egg, though. God, that's amazing.
Yeah, just
That's
like
one of
this,
the
like that.
wildest things about the ocean. If
So
the
he
ocean
knows
did
me.
not
Once
exist,
that I'm gonna
and we
say
found
something
a
to her.
world somewhere that was filled with the creatures of the ocean, we would be freaking the fuck out. We'd be like, dude, it's so nuts. They got mammals. They speak languages. They have these creatures that hide from each other by literally mimicking the floor of the ocean until something comes by.
Only a few sharks, like a cat shark or two.
Lay eggs. So most sharks give birth to live offspring. Wow. Interesting. Cat shark. Whoa. You know the weird one is, like, you can't keep a great white shark in an aquarium.
I also noticed that horn shark had 2 dorsal fins. Maybe there's some sort of differentiation between, like, this is technically not a fish, but it is a shark, but it's
Right.
eggs.
Right, like a cousin. Yeah.
It doesn't really look like a shark traditionally.
Well, it looks a lot different than the sharks that fuck up surfers. That's surfing. But
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm not into it.
I watched a video yesterday. I don't know if it was real, but it was a guy on a surfboard where the shark just up and just gets his whole chest.
Ugh.
Sends him into the air and is just getting his whole chest with a bite, and you're watching it. I don't know if it was real though. That's the thing about today. It looked real.
Yeah.
Looked like a surfer, and then all of a sudden he gets bit.
I don't fuck around with the ocean at all. The rivers here, the lakes here, all nice, very fun. I'll never get in the ocean again. Never liked it when I did. Not my thing.
Spooky place.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Very, very, very vulnerable. It's vulnerable.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, you can't move good.
Uh-uh.
You go into a place where there's a bunch of monsters and you can't move good.
Slow moving.
You're
compared
so
to the
slow. You're like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and they're like, shh.
Yeah. We're like a Cheerio. We're the one Cheerio left in a cereal bowl for them. It's just scoop.
I was watching a video yesterday of a shark attacking another shark. It bites the shark's tail off. So this one smaller shark is swimming, and this big shark comes up behind it and bites its tail off. You want to get in there with that? They kill each other. You want to get in there with that? They're monsters. They move so much faster than you. You're so vulnerable. And they kill each other. What are they going to do to you? They're going to try you. We think they're going to, oh, that's aggression. I don't like you people. They're just the mindless, black-eyed, like nothing. Just death in that eye.
Yeah.
That's like space, that eye. That eye has no emotion. Just And you're going to get in there with that? What, for thrills? Oh, you like the way the water feels under the board. Okay. I have a lot of friends who do it. God bless you.
Wow. Crazy.
Nothing. I'd want to be an Iron Man outfit. Missiles. Fuck it.
That'd be a fun thing to do.
That video of that
Like
guy
jets.
getting eaten off the Egyptian coast is absolutely horrific.
I still haven't seen it.
Oh my God. It's horrible because the guy's getting killed while standby at this point.
Ugh.
And you're watching the guy bob up and down there and he's screaming for his dad. While the shark is eating him alive in front of everybody. In front of a resort. It's a scary way to go, man.
Yeah.
Imagine resorts. Imagine if there was a resort. The resort was at the edge of the forest. If you go in the forest, you go at your own peril because there's werewolves out there. And most people are like, yeah, but it's really fun. They skirt along the edges of the werewolf park. As long as you don't go in the park too deep, like, hey, Just I really love being in the trees. It's worth it. It's worth the risks. Werewolves are only a werewolf once a month. The moon has to be full. Oh, every other day you could just like you could go fuck in the woods. You don't have to worry about shit, right? You could go camp. You could have a good time. But when that fucking moon is full, there's way more sharks than werewolves.
Oh yeah.
There can only be a couple of werewolves, right? Yeah, this is the new thing in Colorado. They just released wolves. Population of this area where the wolves are being released, 2/3 of people voted against wolf release.
Colorado's releasing wolves and taking Trump off the ballot at the same time.
Yeah, they're releasing wolves, and they have this ideological idea. The problem with releasing wolves is, wolves used to be there, and wolves are cool, but the world's different now. They have ranchers there. And these ranchers, they're going to get attacked by wolves. Their cattle are going to get slaughtered by wolves. People are going to lose their dogs. Like everything around there is going to have to deal with these repercussions. People that are actually around wolves, whereas the people that voted for it, for the most part, are in these urban areas where they're like, "Oh my God, wolves are amazing. I'll go." But they don't know what a wolf is because they're never around them. Doesn't mean that wolves aren't cool. They're the coolest fucking animal of all time. But boy, you want to bring them in? Like, you want to get,
Were
big
they
bad wolf? You want them really in your neighborhood?
were they there and not there anymore because the ranchers killed them?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they killed them. The people coming across America killed them because they were killing all the cattle and they were killing people's dogs. It was, not good that they made them extinct, but not good also if you let them populate unchecked. So the problem is a lot of times they get them in under the pretense from these wildlife biologists when they hit a specific number, they'll open up a season for wolf hunting. But most people are opposed to wolf hunting ideologically.
Having a trolley.
Wolves are amazing, they're beautiful, you shouldn't hunt them. Right.
Some other
But the thing is,
customers
you let them
looking because
go,
thinking it's a
and
baby.
now they're there and they're
looking, oh, it's a
overpopulated.
dog.
Historically, that's been terrible.
In a
And I know
trolley.
people don't remember
Well, it's just not
because
cute.
we've
I
never
said,
had
oh,
like
no,
wolf
it's so
issues
cute.
during our lifetime because the settlers killed the wolves. If they didn't, there would be wolf issues. That's just a fact. If you let a large population of wolves exist in a place where people exist, you're going to have wolf problems. And people in Canada are well aware of this. And people are in Alaska, they're well aware of this. And now people are going to find out in all those areas where they've brought wolves. And if they don't manage the population, it could get to be a problem. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but I'll bring it up one more time. In World War I, there was a ceasefire between the Germans and the Russians because so many of them were getting killed by wolves. They decided to band together and hunt the wolves. Guess what? That can happen here. Yeah. That can happen everywhere. That can happen where wolves are. Especially if you let wolves go unchecked. And if the people that live in the cities like, wolves are amazing. I wish there was more of them.
So it said they're just releasing 5? Is that what it said?
What does that mean? No.
Right.
They're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
They're gonna stick together, they're gonna fuck, and then, There's also wolves that are making their way into Colorado organically. Because Colorado borders Wyoming. Wyoming has wolves. And the wolves are coming in organically. And they think maybe grizzly bears. There's been reports, my friend Adam Greentree, we were just talking about before, he got video footage of what he says is a grizzly bear. Looks a lot like a grizzly bear in the San Juan Mountains. There's been reports of people seeing them. Makes sense. They can walk over there, But to bring them in and to want more of them, want more wolves, like, you better be willing to manage their population because it'll get to a point where then people will revolt. It'll get sketchy. It'll be like a lot of other things that happen in this country that are ideological decisions. That like people, they think about like a wolf with their emotions. Like wolves are amazing. They're incredible creatures. I want to see a wolf. Do you? Are you sure? Do you want to die by a wolf? People die by wolves. That's Red Riding Hood. That's what it's all about. Those kids' stories about the big bad wolf. What that was about humans used to get attacked by wolves.
Doesn't get warm enough here
They'll
for
fucking kill
bananas.
you.
But I saw they have a banana tree.
I think we had them in Ohio, right?
Of course it did, at one point in time. Wolves have larger-than-life places in the human imagination. The
Bananas
stories we
grow
all
in a
grow up
hole.
with and tell each other, said Polis, to see them in their natural habitat and turn around cautiously, curiously at us is a really special moment that I will treasure for my entire life. So that's the governor who was really smiling and clapping because he thinks he's doing the right thing when they release the wolves. He thinks he's doing the right thing. You know, the population, and it's really hard to do that. That's the reason why they poisoned all wolves back then. So that was really the only way to significantly affect their population numbers. You can't hunt them. You can, but you're not going to put a dent in them. They're just too good. They're too smart. They're too good. They're going to smell you from a mile away. Once they realize that you're hunting them, good luck. Unless you're hunting them from helicopters and you're doing it as like a really barbaric way. You just have like a hunter go hunt them. The best hunters are, you know, not that successful wolf hunting. Wolf hunting is difficult. It's a really hard thing to do. You know, they get smart. And also, you have to go to where they are. And they're very nomadic. They can move around. They travel. They can traverse a mountain so easily. They can get away from you so... I saw one once going across the road, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but it looked like a big dog, and it was really late at night, and it was in Alberta where they have a lot of wolves, and we were in the woods. It was going across a dirt road, and it was at darkness, like past dusk. It was starting to get dark, but I saw this thing run across the road, but I've never seen one up close.
I was once driving us through past Yellowstone. Is that Wyoming?
Yellowstone is in Montana and Wyoming.
Yeah. We were going through, I think, Wyoming for some reason. And maybe Montana. But anyway, I had something like that where I thought I saw bison and the whole Kiltony crew. Because I'm driving, but I'd been driving for hours, so I don't really... But I was positive at the time.
They have them out there.
Yeah. But blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, it was...
They might not know. Is this still true? So ranchers can shoot them. Only ranchers. There's gotta be. So it must be only Canada pure use across the non-resident wolf. Means you can buy a tag for wolf hunting. Is this an old?
I literally typed in.
Right.
Yeah, this one was for Yellowstone.
Right. You can't hunt wolves. You can't hunt anything in Yellowstone. But where can you legally hunt wolves? Can you just Google where can you legally hunt wolves? Okay, there it goes. Where can you legally hunt wolves in Canada or the United States?
So yeah, it's like province to province.
However, wolves have been delisted from the Endangered Species Act. They're now managed by state wildlife agencies. That means hunting and trapping of gray wolves is allowed in certain states, but with specific regulations and hunting seasons in place. So that's when they delisted them, when they realized they had gotten to a point. But they think they've gotten beyond the point where they initially said they would start hunting them.
Why they're hunting
Which
wolves?
states hunt wolves?
Population control.
Okay. Minnesota and Wisconsin. That'd be a gray wolf in Wyoming, which today begins first wolf hunting season in more than half a century.
Wow.
Okay, Wyoming, you can hunt them. It's one of 3 states. The other 2 are Minnesota and Wisconsin that will offer
They get out of
hunts for the
control and
first
the
time in
population
decades
gets
this
too
fall.
high. They start killing animals and livestock.
It's not easy.
And
I
people.
talked to a guy who's a wolf hunter on Instagram. He's killed quite a few wolves
With a gun.
with a rifle. Yeah. And he was telling me it's not easy. It's very difficult. It's hard to get to them. They're very smart. And the whole idea behind it is that, like, oh my God, these hunters are going to kill so many wolves. It's like, most people are not going to go through this to get a wolf. So it's very hard to do.
And they travel in packs.
They travel in packs.
And if you're out there on your own and you only have one rifle and they want you, right?
You got a problem.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be out there, you're going to have to probably be in a small party of people, like you and maybe 1 or 2 other people, you know, to avoid detection and to be able to sneak up on them. And then you're super vulnerable.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. If they find out you're hunting them, and they find out you have to do this every time you want to reload.
We got all the time in the world.
I mean,
Oh
it
my
takes
God.
a second or
Oh
two.
yeah.
One's coming in this way and one's coming in that way, and you shoot that one, they just fucking
Just sprint.
get you from the sides. Ah! If wolves realize that people like have to reload, then you're gonna have to have semi-automatics. You're gonna have to have people on the sides of you. You're gonna have wolf-proof outfits.
Where was he hunting wolves at? Alaska?
I'm not sure. It's one of those states, I guess. Maybe it was Wyoming. I thought it was Montana. But I know I've seen wolf hunting videos. There's this guy, Ryan Lampers, who's a fascinating dude who's a hunter.
Oh, that's cool.
Who is just like very articulate, very intelligent,
I like
interesting guy. And
That's really
he hunted a
cool.
wolf and put it on YouTube. And I was watching this like this.
We're gonna
Watch someone shoot a wolf on YouTube. Wolf hunting.
peanuts.
But wherever he was, it was legal. He had a wolf
They're
tag. That's why I was asking.
They're
I was
not
like, what
collecting your
states?
peanuts.
So I guess Wyoming's one of them.
Why?
I don't know if I don't know what the seasons are when if you can do it at only specific times. But they're not putting a dent in the population. That's the point. The point is they're going to keep growing. Their packs are going to keep growing unless they do something about it. And they're never going to do what they did when they killed them off at the beginning. They just left a bunch of dead horses and they filled them up with strychnine. And the wolves would go and eat the horses. Yeah, and the alphas would get it first, right? So the alphas would get sick and die off, and then it would confuse the population. The rest of them would go and eat it, and they'd all die. Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing that they killed off the wolves that way.
Right before it's changed in Wisconsin, I believe.
So they can't hunt them anymore in Wisconsin, and they're relisted under the Endangered Species Act in February of 2022 after the hunting and trapping season killed 218 wolves, which represented 83% more than the state's goal. So that was Wisconsin. Interesting. Scroll back up again. In Alaska, wolf season generally stretches from August 1st to April 30th, though different game management units may have different dates. Idaho allows wolf hunting year-round on private land. Public land is more restricted.
But they're
Depending
going
upon
to
the
do
game
that.
management unit, the season can span from August 1st to June 30th, or be earlier and shorter from April 1st to November 14th. Trapping also has a more restricted season, both public and private land. Rough.
Yeah, that's weird.
Trapping is rough. That's a rough one.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. Fucking clean it. Strong. And then just trap there. Freeze to death.
Yeah.
They find it. Rigor mortis.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. You know what's wild? Fur is offensive to people. Like Tim Dillon came in the other day at his giant raccoon coat on. Amazing.
Yeah.
Fur is offensive, but leather's not. Leather's just skin without the hair.
Yeah.
That's all it is. But skin with the hair is like, hey.